Alright, hello there. This is Laser. So I was just playing the game today, and I was in the car going to the grocery store, and I had an idea for a gimmick that we could possibly use. And it's kind of hard to describe, or I think it might be hard to describe in text, so I think I'll just make a video on it. So if I ever want to, go back and, I'm searching for gimmicks, I can be like, oh yeah, this is one video, right? I already did that for a separate gimmick I haven't used yet, but, yeah. So essentially, the gimmick is this, right? So, essentially, if you drive over these pressure plates, it'll bring down this wall for a brief moment of time. Not a brief moment, right? But let's just say a second and a half or something, or maybe 2 seconds. You can vary that amount of time, of course, depending on how you want to in the track. So essentially, that will mean that if you have P1 over here and P2 is over here, right? P1, if they go over the pressure plates, P2 can get the most free overtaking their freaking knife, right? It's actually not even this is a bad positioning of the wall. I kind of just took a bit of memento since I was like, oh yeah, there's a 180 hairpin I can just use and be like, okay, yeah, just throw that in. Maybe the wall should be more over here, right? And then the track, instead of being right here, the turn can be 10 blocks that way, right? So obviously you shouldn't just take this turn right here and be like, okay, yeah, let's do it exactly like this, since this isn't well tuned. Let's just get the basic idea out. But yeah, so basically if P1 goes for that and goes to the pressure plates, P2 can go through here, get a pretty easy overtake, right? Simple. You do give the option though, don't make the pressure plates extend all the way over here. Give them enough space over here so that P1 can go around, so that it can screw up P2 if P2 is expecting them to go through the pressure plates, right? Because then if P1 goes around and P2 is like, okay, time to overtake him super easily, and then it never opens because he went around the pressure plates, then he gets ultra screwed, right? That's like 7 to 8 seconds of time loss. That screws up your race so hard, right? So it's not just a super free, uber broken thing, right? There is counterplay. And of course, well then why doesn't P1 just always go on the outside, right? Well then that means that P2, if there's no one behind P2, which is a big if, I get that, but if there's no one behind P2, he can just take the inside the apex every lap and slowly catch up to P1, right? You may even want to do this, just make it even more, you lose even more time going around to P1, right? So then that's why, that's the counterplay to if P1 always just goes on the outside, right? And then if P2 is close enough, then P1 can always just, or P1, if they go around, then P2 can just go on the inside and get the overtake. Well then why, if P1 knows P2 is right there, why would they ever go on the outside? Well, because there's nothing stopping P2 from, once they reach about here, P1 keeps going that way. P2 can just suddenly hold S, reverse entry or whatever, slow the hell down, and wait right here. And then P1's going to be like, okay, yeah, P2 is right behind me. Let's not go outside. Let's take the apex. And then P2 is ready for that, right? The gimmick idea came from the idea of a revolving door. Because I'm playing Final Fantasy VII Remake Crisis Core, the remake of Crisis Core, and I'm on the beginning of it, and we're raiding a temple thing, right? And there's these doors that the hidden door, surprise doors that spin, and then there's people soldiers behind the door, and then they open the door, and it spins to be kind of like this, right? And then so it spins like this. So if you want to do that similar concept, right, you can add a little bit in the middle, be spinning door or whatever. But yeah, then soldiers would run out and attack the main character or whatever, right? So that's where the idea came from. Because I was like, oh yeah, maybe I'll make another Midgar track. And I was like, well, maybe I can do a different location, not Midgar. And I was like, oh, that temple, and with the sliding doors, and it's a super degenerate idea. It reminds me of that BRWC quote unquote DRS system that they used for that one track, where it was the most broken gimmick ever. But then I started thinking about it. I'm like, oh yeah, it's gapping outside, and that made this super degenerate idea actually not a bad gimmick. All right, so it's not. I think we're leaning towards pretty gimmicky gimmicks now, because at the beginning, when I started doing actual gimmicks, actually good track gimmicks, Cyber World, right? Cyber World 1. And that's kind of like just like you could look at the track and be like, okay, let's choose fit routes. That's whatever, sure. But like, there is more going on here. This is super blatantly like you use command blocks, you use redstone. This is like gimmick, right? And I get that, but since I don't know, it's some people are like cool with gimmicks, but other people are like, it's like it's such a like a Mario Kart kind of feel, like yeah. But that's the gimmick, right? So once again, briefly summarizing, there's a wall here. Wall goes away if you go over pressure plates. Counterplay, they can go around the pressure plates. It doesn't hinge too hard on the driver's skill. If you want to like heavily hinge on driver's skill, maybe make this difficult instead of just like 6 blocks wide, normal ice. You can make it like give it a curve or something, right? Make it like 3 blocks wide, which I wouldn't agree with because then like it kind of kills the whole idea of like waiting here, kind of thing, right? But yeah, so yeah, it's not too heavy on player skill or anything, but like, I mean, yeah, it's okay. I'm not sure if I'm gonna use this. I probably could, but like I have so many gimmick ideas, and each track takes a ton of time to make. So I don't know if I'm gonna use it, but yeah, it's actually not a bad gimmick though. It's pretty similar to Cyber World, but like not. It's actually a lot easier to execute. It's surprisingly a lot easier to execute. It has the same kind of feel on like driver versus driver, kind of like a combat kind of thing, using like mind games and being like, okay, this is what we'll do, but or like tactical, I guess. I'm not good at words, but like it gives a similar vibe to Cyber World, but done in a completely different way. And this is honestly a lot easier to implement than making 2 separate routes, tuning them to hell and back, right? And making sure that like they're just the right numbers you want. This is a lot cleaner. I mean, of course, you're gonna want like better numbers. You're gonna want like, maybe vary how far this is, like maybe over here or over here, or change the entry speed, right? So you either come in here like 60 miles an hour, or like 2 miles an hour, or like 15 miles an hour, right? And then like, or what, kmh or whatever, right? It doesn't matter. You get the idea. Or like change the structure of the turn leading into it, or just make it a straightaway going into it, or change the path types below ice. And then, I mean, the key thing is like, how long does the gate stay open for? How far out do you want the pressure plates to be? And how much of a gap do you want? Like, how much do you want to reward someone for taking this, right? Do you want it to be like, let's just have a whole nother section over here and be like, okay, you can skip 30 seconds of track, right? Versus like a second and a half, or like 5 seconds, or like 2 seconds, right? Personally, I would like be like, okay, let's do just enough time so that they can get like a clean overtake, right? With favorable positioning leading into it, right? So like if they have a good position, good distance to P1 as P2, and they get a clean overtake, right? It's like there's like no way to like, if P2 does everything perfectly, then P1 should have no chance, right? Like if P1 just like, yeah, P2 should get rewarded for playing perfectly, leading into this gimmick, right? But I wouldn't be like, okay, let's make it like so that if you play it perfectly, you get like a whole 5 second gap in between P1 and P2, right? Or even like a 2 second. I mean, like maybe 2 seconds, maybe 1 second. I don't know. That's up to the track maker, tuner to decide. Specific numbers, how much you want to punish, how much you want to, reward people. So yeah, but that's the basic idea. Hope you guys enjoyed. See you guys. Thank you for watching. Bye.